Stephen Curry is 38 years old and still averaging nearly 27 points per game. Kevin Durant is 37 and still scoring 26 a night. LeBron James is 41 years old, and somehow, he is still putting up over 20 points and 7 assists. But none of them are number 1 on this list. Today, we're ranking the 10 best NBA players age 35 or older, based on how good they are right now. This is not a career ranking. I don't care who had the better prime, who has more rings, or who ranks higher all time. This is simply about who I would rather have on an NBA team today, based on current production, impact, efficiency, defense, injuries, and how much they can still influence winning. And number 1 might surprise you. Number 10, Jrue Holiday. Starting the list is Jrue Holiday. At 36 years old, Jrue is obviously not the same defender he was at his absolute peak. But he is still one of the most complete veteran guards in the league. This past season, Holiday averaged 16.3 points, 6.1 assists, and 4.6 rebounds per game. And what makes Jrue valuable goes beyond those numbers. He can run the offense, play without the ball, defend multiple positions, and give you a veteran guard who rarely needs the offense built around him to make an impact. The scoring is no longer elite, and at this stage of his career, I wouldn't want him as one of my main offensive options. But as an all-around player who can contribute in almost every area, Jrue still does enough to take the final spot on this list. Number 9, Paul George. Paul George has definitely declined, but I think people have gone a little too far with how quickly they have written him off. At 36 years old, George still averaged 17.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game this past season. Obviously, those numbers are nowhere close to prime Paul George, but he is still a 6'8" wing who can create his own shot, space the floor, handle the ball, and give you value defensively. The biggest problem is consistency. There are nights where George still looks smooth enough to convince you he has another few years left. Then there are stretches where his age and injuries become extremely obvious. That keeps him from being much higher. But if he is healthy, I still trust Paul George to give me more individual creation and scoring upside than Jrue Holiday, which puts him at number 9. Number 8, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan might be one of the most underrated examples of aging well in NBA history. He is 37 years old, and he still averaged 21.1 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 4.1 assists this past season. And the craziest part is that his game almost feels designed to survive aging. DeRozan has never depended heavily on three-point shooting. He doesn't need insane athleticism to score. He gets to his spots, uses footwork, draws fouls, operates in the mid-range, and can still create a decent shot late in the clock. Now, there are obvious limitations. He is not giving you elite defense. His style can sometimes slow down an offense, and at this age, you probably don't want him carrying your team every night. But finding a 37-year-old who can still consistently create his own offense and average over 20 points is ridiculous. That gets DeRozan to number 8. Number 7, Damian Lillard. This is easily one of the hardest players to rank, because unlike almost everyone else on this list, we didn't really get to see current Damian Lillard this past season. Lillard missed the 2025-26 season while recovering from the Achilles injury he suffered during the 2025 playoffs. So I'm not going to pretend his old numbers automatically represent who he is today. An Achilles injury for a smaller guard in his mid-30s is serious. But at the same time, the last healthy version of Damian Lillard was still an elite offensive player. His shooting range changes defenses. He can run pick and rolls, create his own three, attack the rim, and completely change the spacing of an offense. The question is simply how much of that survives the injury. If Dame comes back anywhere close to his previous level, number 7 might actually be too low. But until we see him do it again, I can't put him over the healthier players ahead of him. Number 6, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is difficult to evaluate because the regular season numbers have never completely explained his value. At 36 years old, Butler still averaged 20 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 4.9 assists per game. He can still get downhill, draw fouls, create for teammates, defend when needed, and control the pace of a game. And unlike some older scorers, Jimmy doesn't need to dominate the ball for every possession to affect winning. But there has clearly been some decline. The athleticism is not quite the same. Staying healthy is becoming more important. And asking him to carry an offense for an entire season at this age is probably unrealistic. Still, when I look at who I would trust in an important game, Jimmy remains extremely high on this list. He can score, create, defend, and make the right decision. That combination keeps him just outside the top 5. And before we get into the top 5, if you're enjoying the video, Subscribe because we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I make NBA rankings, stories, and debates like this all the time. Now things get controversial. Number 5, LeBron James. LeBron James is 41 years old. Just saying that makes what he is doing sound ridiculous. Because this past season, LeBron still averaged 20.9 points, 7.2 assists, and 6.1 rebounds per game. Obviously, this is no longer prime LeBron. He cannot attack the rim possession after possession the way he once did. His defensive effort has to be managed more carefully, and there are stretches where his age finally becomes visible. But his basketball IQ has barely changed. LeBron can still control an offense, manipulate defenses, find shooters, punish mismatches, and use his size when he decides to attack. And that is why I still have him over Jimmy. Jimmy might give you more defensive intensity at this point, but LeBron remains the better offensive engine. You can still give him the ball and trust him to organize an entire offense. At 41, that sentence alone is insane. But the decline is finally noticeable enough that I can't put him in the top 4 anymore. Number 4, James Harden. James Harden being this high might surprise some people. But if we are actually ranking these players based on how good they are right now, he deserves it. At 36, Harden averaged 23.6 points, 8 assists, and 4.8 rebounds per game this past season. And while prime Harden could overwhelm defenses with scoring, this version has transformed into one of the smartest veteran offensive creators in basketball. He still manipulates pick-and-roll coverage. He still creates three-pointers. He still gets to the free throw line. And most importantly, he can still run an offense at a very high level. There are obvious weaknesses. The defense is never going to be the main reason you want Harden. And at this stage, there are nights where his efficiency or explosiveness can disappear. But 23 points and 8 assists from a 36-year-old guard is elite production for this age group. And unlike some players below him, we saw him do it consistently over an entire season. That puts Harden 4th. Number 3, Kevin Durant. And somehow, at 37 years old, Durant still looks almost exactly like Kevin Durant. He averaged 26 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.8 assists this past season. He also made the 2026 All-NBA second team, which tells you how ridiculous his level still is this deep into his career. The athleticism has obviously declined. He is not moving like the Oklahoma City version of KD. He is not attacking the rim with the same explosion. But when you are almost 7 feet tall, can handle the ball, and have one of the smoothest jump shots ever, aging affects you differently. Durant can still shoot over almost anybody. He can still punish switches. He can still create efficient offense without needing to dominate the ball for 20 seconds every possession. And that is why I would still trust him as a legitimate number 1 scoring option. The only 2 players ahead of him give me slightly more overall impact right now. Number 2, Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is 38. And somehow, defenders still have to pick him up near half court. Curry averaged 26.6 points and 4.7 assists per game this past season. And he was still selected as an all-star starter. There are younger stars who would love to be producing like that. What separates Steph from almost everyone on this list is that his impact goes far beyond his own scoring. The second he crosses half court, the defense changes. Players chase him around screens. Big men have to step higher. Defenders hesitate to help off him. And sometimes Steph creates an open shot for somebody else without even touching the basketball. That gravity is still there. He can still explode for huge scoring nights. He can still completely destroy a defense from 3. And his conditioning remains one of the biggest reasons his game has survived this long. The defense and size will always limit him compared with bigger two-way wings. And at 38, durability becomes part of the discussion. But if I needed one of these players to completely transform my offense tomorrow, Curry would probably be my choice. So how is he not number 1? Because one player somehow had an even better season. Number 1, Kawhi Leonard. The best NBA player age 35 or older right now is Kawhi Leonard. And if you only remember the injuries, you might not realize how good Kawhi actually was this season. At age 35, Leonard averaged 27.9 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game. He ended up making the 2026 All-NBA second team. Think about that. In a list with Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, and Damian Lillard, the highest scorer of the group was Kawhi Leonard. And unlike most of them, he can still give you major value on both sides of the floor. Kawhi can create his own shot in isolation. He can punish smaller defenders in the post. His mid-range game is still extremely difficult to stop. He can hit threes. And defensively, even though he is no longer the terrifying defender he was in his prime, his size, strength, hands, and instincts still make him extremely valuable. Of course, the concern is the same one it has been for years: health. If I were ranking who I trusted to stay healthy for the next 3 seasons, Kawhi probably would not be number 1. But that is not what this ranking is. This is about who is the best basketball player right now. And based on the level we actually saw when these guys were on the floor, I think Kawhi has the strongest argument. So my top 3 are Kawhi Leonard, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. But with this many legends still playing in their late 30s and even early 40s, almost every spot is debatable. Who did I rank too high? Who did I disrespect? And which 35-plus player do you think will be the best next season? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more NBA rankings.